Citizens speak out. Among the calls being made by people across the globe are those for greater opportunity, human rights and democratic principles as they gather in countries including Italy, Lebanon, Libya, Syria, United Kingdom, Ukraine, United States and Yemen.
United Kingdom. Leaders such as Prime Minister David Cameron, Home Secretary Theresa May and London Mayor Boris Johnson all returned immediately from holidays in response to the crisis of unprecedented riots, looting and arson that have spread across London and into Birmingham, Liverpool and Bristol in the past few days. As of Tuesday, August 9th, at least 450 people have been arrested and hundreds of citizens as well as police injured. The unrest was originally sparked by the fatal wounding by police of Mr. Mark Duggan last Thursday. While calling for a full investigation into his death, Mr. Duggan's family members have spoken out against the riots, appealing for calm. An emergency government meeting was called on Tuesday, with Prime Minister Cameron saying he would do everything necessary to restore order as he deployed 16,000 police officers in an effort to quell the violence. While there has been discussion of arming police with batons and water cannons, Home Secretary May stated on Tuesday, "The way we police in Britain is not through use of water cannon. The way we police in Britain is through consent of communities."
United States, Italy and global markets. In the wake of concerns over a downgrade of US creditworthiness and Italy's financial stability, European Central Bank or ECB President Jean-Claude Trichet stated Tuesday that although global financial markets were experiencing their worst crisis in more than 50 years, decisions by international leaders to coordinate stabilizing efforts has prevented the situation from worsening further. This includes an ECB pledge to restart a program of purchasing Spanish and Italian bonds to ease fears that the Eurozone debt crisis might spread.
Ukraine. As a judge on Monday denied the release of former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko, who was jailed last Friday during her court trial, thousands demonstrated against both the trial and her detention. Russia Today reported that many countries and leaders expressed concern over her arrest, including European Union Foreign Policy Chief Catherine Ashton, German Deputy Foreign Minister Werner Hoyer, Swedish Foreign Minister Carl Bildt, and the Russian Foreign Ministry, while the Poland-based Warsaw Business Journal stated that the Polish Foreign Ministry and US Department of State had similarly questioned both the fairness of the court proceedings and her treatment.
Libya. The activist Transitional National Council dissolved its own cabinet on Monday, citing improper administrative procedures that led to the arrest and killing of General Abdel Fattah Yunus, a former interior minister under Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, who had defected to assist the revolutionaries. A proposal for new cabinet members will be made in the coming days.
Yemen. President Ali Abdullah Saleh was discharged from a Saudi hospital on Sunday, where he had been receiving treatment for injuries sustained in an explosion at the presidential palace June 3rd. He is reported to be continuing his recuperation in Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, China-based Xinhua News reported that activist members of the Joint Meeting Parties coalition on Monday denied any responsibility for the attack, as they called for an independent investigation.
Syria and Lebanon. On Monday, some 800 people in Lebanon protested in solidarity with the Syrian people, the brutal crackdown they have been subjected to over the past 5 months in response to their calls for political reform, which according to the UK-based Guardian has resulted in over 2,000 deaths. The demonstration included Lebanese intellectuals, writers, journalists and activists, who also called upon their government to speak out against the bloodshed.
As we grieve the loss of precious life and the suffering of the injured and oppressed, we pray that the turmoil in all nations may subside and that citizens everywhere can choose lives of safety, dignity and freedom as a peaceful world.